I'm good.
Come on, tell me more. Like, how you been doing? Come on. Just give me.
Yeah, about
Right, I'm not gonna torture you. I'm gonna maybe ask a few more questions so it would be easier for you to answer. So, what happening since the last time I saw you? So last time I have a conversation with you. You mentioned that you were doing a research about I don't know,
yeah,
you go into the store, scan
yes.
QR, pull into the car, pay, whatever, whatever. Okay. How's that
And
going?
now we are doing the last task for that research.
Okay.
Yeah, now until holiday, and after that, until holiday, we send forms to
Yep.
other people and collect our data, and after that we try to use uh, use application to analyze that data, and
Yep.
now we are write essay for that research, and last at the end of this month I we have to finish that scientific research and send it to our lecturer, and she will um, provide feedback, and after that and send that research to my university.
Out of curiosity, I thought like during the process that you do the research, you have to talk with your lecturer and then you
Yes.
have to constantly back and forth, go back and forth how it's going, not by the end of it. Am I correct?
Yes, I
Ah,
have
okay.
to contact with my lecturer to make sure that that process is correct,
Okay.
and we don't have to spend more time to fix it after that.
Right. So what happened during that holiday? What did you do? What did you do during that
Uh,
holiday?
yeah, until holiday, I think it was a memorable time for me, because I'm now living far away my family, and until holiday I came back my hometown, and I have many activities with my family, like visits my relatives or other people, and I have many meetings with my friends.
Right.
Yes, because my friends now they are living in many cities in Vietnam. So until holiday we can have have many meetings together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the other day when I talked to some of the students, they're saying, what do you present most during that holiday? Do you go somewhere memorable, etc., etc.? But my answer to them is no. During that holiday, my idea is like most of the time we work all over the place across the country, and all of us just like have the same day that we can take a day off during that holiday, and we can come back from all over the place from the country to some specific town. Could be your parent, could be your sister, brother, all in one place, and then talk together. So yeah, so that is my thing during that holiday. Even though it's different here in Australia, we don't have that, but that is my point of view for that holiday. It's not actually going anywhere because they also asked me a question that if you have an international friend visit on that holiday, what would you do or where would you show them? And I just answer to them, if I have an international friend coming over during that holiday, do not do it. Change the ticket, change the schedule. Do not go to Vietnam during that holiday because we have
Yeah.
fucking nothing here. Food,
Yeah.
food, nothing. Like I remember I went back to Vietnam for that maybe 5 years ago, and during that they closed like everywhere they closed off, and the price maybe 5 or 10 times more higher. So not worth just home. So don't get me wrong, like it's just
Yeah,
not worth to go to Vietnam during that holiday. Maybe 1 or 2 days as you know, Nguyen Huệ or some place that they have flower decoration or something, but that's it. Oh, no, that's it.
that's right. And the service is not good
Yeah,
because and the price for that service is so high.
yeah,
You have to pay more money for that.
yeah. I don't want to diss them, but it's just like it's natural that way because supply and demand. Well, because everybody leave their home, leave their work, leave the city, go back to their hometown. So only a small amount of business stay back, so they have to charge for a higher rate. So I don't have any issue with that. Just it's fair. It's fair.
So, do you often go ahead your hometown on that holiday?
No, uh, I've been here living in Australia for like a decade. The amount of time I've gone back to my country for holiday is maybe 2 times. Maybe 2 times. Yeah, as I say, like when I'm going home for a holiday, I expect to have like good meal, good food, everything cheap. Um, yeah. So if I go back in Vietnam for that, got nothing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my strategy is because I don't have many sister and brother in Vietnam, only my mom and dad. My sister in here, she live with me here. So we kind of choose the travel time outside of the public holiday. Well, could be classified that holiday. That holiday is like public holiday. We choose a day that outside public holiday. So we have two advantage. So first, well, not many crowd people. Second, the list display is still open. Third, cheap. And if we stay back and work during public holiday, we have double pay or triple pay. So we're going to use that money for travel. However, well, for different family have a different situation. So
Yeah.
that our strategy. And I apply visa for my mom and dad to visit us, well, from time to time. So it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. I remember you also mentioned to me that you helping some international event or some event, organize some event for your school.
Mm, as before that holiday,
Yep.
I have a extracurricular
Yep.
activity with our international students
Yep.
from New Zealand.
Okay.
So so we have a meetings for one day to share a lot of things relating to New Zealand and related to Vietnam.
Yep.
For example, about foods or about traditions, cultures,
Yep.
something like that. And after that, to you know to New Zealand's student can understand more about Vietnam. So our we have a activity to do souvenirs for for them. It's like, do you know to hair? It's like,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, some,
I've heard about
yeah,
it, but I do not know about it. So here.
and we did that.
Ah. It's
And,
I'm not sure, but the only memory that I have with this stuff is smell disgusting.
uh,
It smells disgusting. Or maybe the guy that did that for me using some old thing.
it is from it is made of sticky rice.
Okay.
Sticky rice. Yeah.
Could be the guy did that for me using off or expired rice. It smelled
Uh,
disgusting. Last time, no, it was ages ago when I was in high school. So it's, yeah. So how long can you store these here?
I don't know.
Does it last
I
forever?
do. No, I don't think that I because I did a flower, and after that I gave it for my students. Yeah, so I don't know how long to restore it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Any, so what was the most memorable thing that you did with the New Zealand student?
Um, yeah. The most impressive thing I remember that are on the we have different culture, but they are willing to share a lot of things about them. Like and at noon after we have ever after because we have a break, so maybe because we have different language. So some of Vietnamese students they tr- they speak Vietnamese, and you know
Okay.
they so some but some are New Zealand students they try to connect them by creating a game to many people
Mm.
can play, and after that we try to record some video TikTok video together to have memorable time together.
Yep.
And we also add Instagram and Facebook account, yeah, to have a connection up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are friendly.
I'm not sure. I'm like one of the. I'm not sure. I'm maybe. Hang on. What kind of like we have boomer, millennia? Hang on. Let me have a look. Do you know what kind of categories?
uh Mali is quite familiar, but can you type or
Right.
show
So
it?
baby. So when normally when people are talking about baby boomer, it mentioned that for those people that was born in between 1946 to 1964, millennial is born roughly between 1981 and 1996. We, no, me, I am a millennial. I think you are Gen D.
Ah, yeah, Gen Z.
You're Gen
Yeah,
Z. Yep. So I'm a millennial,
Millennial.
but
Yeah,
I'm lean toward baby boomer because I don't like social account. I
yeah,
don't like Facebook. I don't like Instagram. For some reason, I think it drains my energy. It just drains my energy. I like to have a conversation like this rather than have a text message
yeah,
conversation. It just takes a lot of my time because normally when I text, I expect us to have some people like to respond back immediately, not immediately, but kind of reasonable amount of time. But I cannot put it away until I finish it so I can focus on my work. For example, if I'm working on something, people keep texting me, so I have to check it, I have to reply to it, and then I'm back to my work. Now I have to rethink what the fuck what was I doing? Like I had to download all the information again and then start the process again. It's like I got a text message. What's that? No text and then what the fuck was it doing? It's just like it distract me. I can't
yeah,
focus. So maybe because I'm a man, I cannot do multiple tasks at the same time. I just like focus on one task, and then when some people break the focus of me, like it's annoying. I have to like download again, focus that, and then break that
yeah,
contact, download previous information, check down what was I doing, and then oh fuck, it's just messing with me. I can't do it. So normally I have my phone silent, and when I'm doing something really important, everything out the window. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I find it's really difficult just to keep communication with texting because it take whole day. It drain me. It just drain my energy. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Some people can just do it. It's just like, oh god, I can't do it. Don't get me wrong. I don't. I have no ill
Yeah.
intention. It's
Yeah.
just not how it works. Yeah. So that's why I off for Facebook. I'm not using any Facebook, no Instagram, no messages. In my phone, basically phone call. That's it. Email, well, email just if like I have to work to do relate to my work, I have to do email. But the way that I categorize my email is really funny. People like my colleague piss like really piss at me, but okay, here I have a few common email that I have to manage, and then people in the morning I ignore all that, right? So as a specific time, at a specific time of the day, I'll sort all that out and I'll leave it. So people just like sometime going to general inbox, so I see a fucking pile of emails just leaving there. Just it happened exactly the same for the all four inbox. They
Yeah.
pissed and they escalate to my manager. My manager backed me off like, what the goal here? The goal here that you sort out all the email within 24 hours. As long as he showed within his 24 hours, he fine. He didn't cross any line, so as long as he's doing his job, I don't give any shit. Let him do his work. I love my manager because of that.
Yeah. I think it's also a good habit.
But I do it really fast, like because if they compare the speed that how I do my work, I'm kind of a I'm kind of a dickhead because I know how to get data out of the system in a company. I can pull it out, spread it all out, and then compare the performance between each person. How did they doing their task? How did they manage their work? Like if they go in down that part, I can pull it out and I represent it to my manager because I did that once. I did that once to my manager. So that was see hammer back. Um, yeah, where was we? New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand, New Zealand. Okay, what are you up to now? So you at your final of your scientific report?
Mm, at the end of this month,
Yeah. So apart from that, have you learned anything new during this period that you want to discuss with me? Any new
or
knowledge, any new data, any new skill? I can talk with you with a lot of things.
this semester, I learned a lot about foreign exchange,
Hang,
foreign
hang on.
exchange market, foreign exchange market,
Ah, foreign
foreign
exchange market.
exchange
Okay.
market. I learned finance,
Hang on.
so it's
Sorry, just can you just give me a second? I just want to type it down. Foreign exchange market is familiar word, but the way that you form is really weird. And you're actually correct. Foreign exchange market. A global, decentralized, or over-the-counter OCT market for trading currency. Right. So you learn about currency, or you're learning about
yeah,
stock.
currency,
Yeah.
about currency. How to change our one currency into another currency in in the market, and I learned about how to use do this market to make profits.
Yeah.
It's quite hard because I have to make many formulas to calculate from this exchange rate. For example, in in USD to Vietnam dong, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a hot topic to discuss.
That's all right. I'm familiar with it. But I'll give you the credit because the first thing you're saying that it's a really hard market. I give you credit for that. Well, because quite a few students, when I talk with them, they say, "Oh, it's easy. I get it. I have formula. I can do this." I say, "Fuck bullshit." The moment you say it's easy, you fuck. So yeah. With some genius, it's actually easy. But with the majority of people, I don't think it's easy. It's hard. It's quite hard. So, what is your formula? What is your strategy?
Mm, for example, when you have a contract to buy something from other country, so from America, for example,
Yeah.
so and you predict that in the future the price will be increased. So, do you think we should use we should have a forward contract for that for this situation?
Okay. Forward contract.
Yeah, forward contract.
So that how you call forward contract. So you buy currency with the hoping of in the
Yeah,
future the price gonna increase and you sold it off, but you sell
yeah,
it off to get a profit.
yeah.
Okay.
You
No, no, no.
predict that is
I just try to summarize it for you just to see
yeah.
that I get the idea correct from you or not. So, okay. In stock,
Yeah.
do we have a different, let me say, short, long. Yeah, in stock we have the term, yeah, kind of similar. But in currency, if you're saying that forward contract, in stock we call it short. So short, you mean that you normally you don't. Let's say you have Apple share. You don't have
Yeah,
Apple
Apple
share,
share.
but
Yeah.
you predict in the future the price of Apple gonna fall.
Will
So you borrow the share from bank to sell it, and in the future you're gonna buy back to predict
the price.
this you buy the stock back from the market with a lower price to get the different profit.
Yeah.
So maybe yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of a similar concept. So um, in here that we call in stock we call it short. So in the future we sell it at a current price. So in the future we're gonna buy back with a lower price to get a profit. So we call it short. And long is a different story. Long is we just buy the stock, leave it there for a long period of time until it get a higher price, and we sell it off. So with the currency, maybe you have a different concept. So in currency, you say forward. So you what was that again? You buy a contract of the money with a lower price, and in the future you're gonna sell it off when the value of the currency going up. You short it, is it? You're gonna sell it up. You sell the contract to get a profit.
Because you signed a low price, it's like a spot price,
Yep,
for 3 months, for example, 3 months, for example. So after 3 months, because the price increased, but
yep,
because in the past you have a contract that you will buy at a at a fixed price,
yep,
so in the future, because although the price increase,
yep.
but you pay you only pay a lower price, so you get
Okay.
profit, and you have after that you will buy that currency to make profits.
Oh, it's no, it's actually if you're saying that's why it's similar to long in contract, it's not short. So forward contract is sound like you buy a currency with you keep it.
Yeah.
You wait until the currency, well, the ratio between let's say between Vietnam Dong or USD the USD don't the USD currency get a higher exchange rate, you sold USD to get the money to get a different profit. Am I making any sense? Doesn't.
I don't understand.
Okay. Fuck.
Can you?
Yeah, this topic hard. So do you want to share your screen with me? Just so that we understand the same concept. Or I
Um,
can share my screen with you. Hang on 2 sec. Let me open it up. In window book one share. Okay, so let's say, can you go again? How forward contract work? So you buying, can you explain to me again how forward contract work?
is like you will sign a
Yep,
contract
yep,
to buy a currency
yep,
in the future
yep.
at a fixed price. So because you predict that in the future the price could increase, so you decide to sign to that contract.
Yep.
And after maybe 3 months, 6 months, or after a long time, so you will take that currency and buy it to another place at a fixed price that you
Okay.
signed in the
Right.
contract and make
Okay.
profits.
Do you want to make it
It,
clear?
it,
Do you want to make it clear? Let's say we talk about USD, okay? The buying
yeah,
currency is Vietnam dong, right?
yeah,
So current price of USD is about 22,000. I'll to put 20K, $1
it's, I think
current
it's
price
lower. It's
per.
lower than in the
Okay. So buying
okay.
currency is VND, and we talk about USD here. So the current price per USD is 20,000 Vietnam dong per one USD. So the future contract is have to be higher than 20,000, not going to be lower 20,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just want to make it easy to understand. So you predict the price in the future that no, you gonna
I
make a contract in the next 3 months. You're gonna buy the USD in 21,000. Okay. Let's assume that the seller can accept that fixed price. Hang on. Fixed price.
have
Okay.
to
No,
lower
forget about fixed
21.
price. Hang on. What do you mean lower 21? Let's say in the next 3 months.
Lower. Here.
Let's say
Uh,
in the next 3 months, right? The price gonna jump up next 3 months.
the future.
Yep.
So
So in the next 3 months, the USD price drop down to 18,000. You're gonna make a loss.
yes.
You are forced to buy it regardless. Let's say if the next 3 month price gonna be 22,000, you're gonna make profit. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the question here, how how do we form a contract? It's easy to talk, right? But how do we find somebody to sign a contract with, and what minimum price?
Yes.
Yep.
I we will do the contract with the bank.
Okay. So yeah, well, let's say with the bank, I'm just trying to practice with you. Let's say we want to buy from the bank. So what is their condition? What is the condition? What is the minimum amount that they allow to sign a contract with? We're not gonna say that 100 or 200 bucks here. 100 bucks is like a US dollar. Is that worthwhile for them to consider it?
For investor or in the bank? For the bank?
Yeah, well, let's say in the bank.
In the bank, um, because in my studies,
Okay.
we have bid price and ask price.
Yep.
It means bid price and ask price is like
Yep.
the bid is something you will buy from the customer, and ask is the bank will sell to the customer. So it means the bank will make profit from the difference between the bid price and ask price.
Okay, so I think you got the wrong concept here. So in this case, the banks is actually not doing it. The bank is actually the agent in between the bid and the ask. So normally the bid is the person who gonna put the amount of the amount contract in. So let's say I want to fuck. I'll make it like I'll make it in stock just to make it easy. So the bank in here is just
Yes.
act as an agent. So they're gonna collect a transaction fee.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I'm more confident in stock than currency, so it's easier for me to explain it to you. But because you're saying that bid in us, the bank is not actually selling it. It's like international.
I think you misunderstand my
Okay,
idea,
right.
because
Okay.
I about ask a bid price is like something is a amount, is like a price that bank will buy the currency from you, and the ask price is that the price that the bank will buy the currency for you. It's like something bit relating to buying price, and the ask is for offer price to you. Do you understand my idea?
Yep, I understand your concept, but I'm trying to Google it, so I can show
No.
that out. There's
We-
an actually.
and and in your opinion, the bank
Hmm?
will have a fee. You have a fee, right? It's not forward contract. It's like relate to another contract. It's a card option contract, and
Hmm.
you have to pay a amount of money, a small money, to do to that type contract.
I could fuck it up. I could understand the wrong concept, or I could understood the wrong thing that you're trying to explain to me. But I'm trying to Google in here just to get my fact straight before I explain to you. Otherwise, it's a bit embarrassing to be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I can understand. So maybe when you go into the bank, so my concept, maybe I talk in the wrong way that lead you to understood the wrong concept. So normally when you go into the bank website, right,
No.
they're gonna have a bid and they're gonna ask NAS price. So bid is the amount willing to pay.
Oh, the bank will.
Ask is the price that will to sell. Does that make any sense?
It is relate to
The
the
bid and the
bank.
ask. Yep. So I'm not
Ah, yes.
sure. I'm not sure. There
Yeah.
could be a different concept because you may be going to the bank website and you look at the exchange rate you're gonna see the bid and ask. You potentially you could think that that is the rate that the bank gonna uh, buy or selling the currency at some rate. That's correct. That also correct. It's not wrong. But normally when you talk about foreign exchange rate, you're talking about the global market, not a single bank. So like a single bank cannot do it. They can actually buy a currency from you, buy it in, and then sell it off for profit. But the majority of all the contract it happen globally, and the bank
Yeah.
in there it act as an agent on the behalf of the customer. So when you want to make a contract between a buyer and seller, you have to have somebody sit in the middle to guarantee the project going to be valid. Okay, and the bank sit in the middle to do that because they have their access to the fund. They can see, they can act like a person who, let's say you want to buy a house, right? And you are in Vietnam, any other person in Brazil, and the house you want to buy in America. You cannot make sure that you send the money from Vietnam to Brazil to get the house in America. You have to have a bank in here. So when you send the money to the bank, let's say the bank in Vietnam, to buy a house in America for the person in Brazil. So the bank in Vietnam receive the money, verify everything, money is legit, look at the contract, stamp it. Okay, the house is sold. So now the bank gonna collect the paperwork from the person in Brazil. Okay, process that, transfer the name of the person in Brazil to the person in Vietnam to the ownership of the house in America. Is that making any sense?
Yeah, yeah, I don't
Okay,
understand.
right. So they collect. So what a bank is just the middleman that to guarantee everything work according to schedule. They collect money from the person in Vietnam, send the money to Brazil, and then transfer the name title of the house in America of the Brazil person to Vietnam, and they collect the fee. So normally they collect the fee. In stock they say broker fee.
A broker.
Yeah.
Broker.
In stock they call a broker fee. They're not actually a broker, but they say a broken fee, or you can say a processing fee. Okay. So that is just okay. That is fee is just for them to enforce the paperwork and like. So normally it's exactly the same in stock. So if you want to buy stock, you're gonna do bid price and ask price. So normally in the column when you look in stock exchange is if you right now you go into maybe I'm not sure how you access with stock trading. You go into a stock exchange, or maybe you can search for Google stock or Apple stock. You look in there, you have bid price. They're gonna go like this. So you have two sections. So bid price, it go like 90, just for example, okay? I'm not gonna make it like
Yeah.
accuracy. So may go at 90 cent, uh, okay, no, 0.9, uh, 0.91, 0.8. So this is the money that the customer willing to buy, okay?
Yeah.
Then they're gonna have a volume, like how much they want to buy. Let's say 10K share, 1 ton. Let's say 1,000 share, 2,000, 3,000. Okay, and willing to sell, you're gonna have. They're gonna put a really high price, like $1, $1.50, etc., etc. You got 2K, 3K, etc., like that. So that how you normally do. And then some people they predict, okay, price gonna go enough. Well, normally, this is a professional trader. They go and buy all of the price over here, willing to sell, and then just make the price going up, and then short make price going down, and it's just like that. So don't Don't get the wrong concept that the bank gonna do bid ask. No, they're
Yeah.
not gonna do that. They do not have the capacity to do it. They should act as an agent, the middleman, to make sure that the transaction
Yeah.
happen. So let's say, for example, okay, how they can make it happen. Let's say I'm buying about 10 share or 1,000 share. Let's say volume of Apple stock at the price of $100,000. Okay. So the total amount gonna be this, multiply that. The
Multiply that.
amount the amount I have to pay is about 10 million, is it? 1,000, yeah, 10 mil. So I have to pay 10 mil. So how do they know that I have 10 mil? So normally depend on the trading system, right? If I want to buy 10,000, the bank gonna settle it, but they're gonna double check with me first. So let's say if I have buy something about 10,000, they don't even bother to check. But if I'm want to buy about 10 million, the bank got to pick up the phone and call. Do you have the fund available? Okay, I'll show up my bank account. I'll say, okay, here I have 10 million available in my bank account. Just go forward with it. Okay, then go ahead process that. Let's say it's about 10,000. 10, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'm buying with 10,000 share worth of Apple stock. And I don't have enough money to pay for that. So what the bank gonna do, they're gonna reverse it. And they're gonna put a penalty into my bank account for dishonoring, or they can assess it and then they can deduct the amount in my account just to cover for the loss fee. So let's say if I'm uh, put out a sale order of 10,000 worth of Apple share, and at the time Apple was selling at maybe $10, but after the settlement day they lost their value, so they're now $9. Bank gonna like take money straight out my bank account to cover
Yeah.
for that. So your understanding correct, but I just want to add some more information in there.
Yes.
Does that make any sense? Any more question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And a word of advice: any fucking trading system, online or whatsoever, they say well, we're not gonna charge you any money. Everything gonna be free. Run from it as fast as possible because they're nothing at a free lunch. Okay, so I'm looking at some of the trading platforms, such as eToro, IGN. Okay, they advertise it a free trading fee. So it doesn't matter how many shares that you buy, they're not gonna impose a transaction fee for you. Okay, if you look carefully in their contract to actually figure out how they make money, they put tiny, tiny, tiny little line there. They're gonna okay. We make the money as we gonna put a bit of a few dot different between your bid ask, and we're gonna make profit out of it. But the thing is, they're not supposed to do that because when they know because when they do that, they're gonna rig the system. Okay, they know when you're gonna sell it, when you're gonna buy, and let's say when you have a lot of profit and you want to sell all of your share, and you cannot sell, they're not gonna sell your share. They're gonna sell their share. After they sold off their share, they're gonna sell your share. And the other thing is, when you trading using electronic platform like that, you don't actually own your share.
yeah.
You don't actually own your share. They own your share. And when
Yes.
something fucked up with the system, your money's gone. If you go with the traditional way that you trading with through bank or something, you actually own the share. And if the bank went bankrupt, you still own the share. You don't need to. Let's say you trading using what bank do we have in Vietnam? Vietcombank, is it?
Vietcombank, Vietcombank,
Let's say
Vietinbank.
you buy your share through Vietcombank or Vietinbank, right? And Vietcombank or Vietinbank gone broke. You can
Mm,
still use your share trading using a different platform. Let's say VB Bank. You can do that freely without any issue. Okay, but if you use eToro, they own the share. You can't move it
mm,
out of it. Okay, that what happened when crypto, one of the largest cryptocurrency platform went broke, or hang
yeah,
on, let me, FTX or something, and then Binance. Okay, there was a period of time they locked the account and prevent people withdraw the money out of their platform because of a crash. You see how dangerous it is?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I heard that.
yeah, so it's really dangerous, and they're not thinking of a free lunch. When you, especially when you do this with your money, always read all the description in the contract when you sign up for it. So check where your money going, how do you own the assets, how can you take it out. Okay. Share the words of advice. I'm not sure because I've heard that you create some formula to trading, and it's just be careful with it. Yeah, so do not think it's because I have a lot of friends though, they fall into the trap because like the easy money, that easy money. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Nothing is easy.
Yep. If it easy, everybody already a millionaire. So do
Yeah,
not believe that. And the one of the, well, a lot of trader or famous stock broker that I'm being reading, they really conservative, and they kind of, they do not have a, like an ego. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna say it easy. They say it hard. It requires a lot of work. So practice and stop when, no, actually you have to discipline yourself. Put a stop loss strategy and follow your strategy. Do not overconfident. The moment you overconfident, you fuck. It apply for everything.
but
Is
I also think take more gamble to get more.
no, actually, if you look it in more scientific, well, not actually scientific way, the way that I'm trading is more about probability. I'm not gambling. I'm not doing gambling. So I have a quite no. I only have one model. I don't have a few model. I only have one model, but it's more about probability when you calculate and then you buy at some certain point, you sell at a certain point, and you have to filter. You need to look at how the chart's performing because in there it's more actually like supplying and demand, and you have to have a stop loss, willing to lose at some point to have a bigger gain. So yeah, if you look at in the right way, it's not actually a gamble. It's more about probability calculation. Similar like in insurance. You know how insurance they make money?
Insurance,
Yeah.
insurance to make money.
Do you know?
No,
Do you know? Do you know? Do you know insurance?
I know
What insurance do
insurance
you know?
are insurance to in trading. For example, when you buy goods cargo from other country, you buy insurance to make sure
Okay.
in the transporting or in transporting process when you have problems, and you will be compensated by one party.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know how they make money?
Um, is
Come on, look
based
at it.
on.
It's sorry.
You can
No,
keep on, keep on.
no, keep go ahead. Like,
Uh,
oh, you was trying to explain to me, so I need to wait until you explain to me before I'm telling you my point of view.
are they will based on the situation of the cargo
How so?
because in on a ship there are a lot of cargoes from other from many people.
Hmm.
So and the insurance I bought for the whole cargo. So in maybe your cargo is have problem, but my cargo is not. Yeah, so I think they have to base on that.
You explain too hard to really hard for me to understand. Can you explain to me like I'm a 5 years old? Can you explain to me like I'm a 5 years old, just so I can understand the concept? I know where you're getting to, but I'm
Um,
just trying to get you practice to explain to me. I know
I
it's hard, but it's really rewarding when you get used to it.
um for example,
Yep,
when you are buy cargo from America,
yep.
so you will rent a ship to to transport your cargo to Vietnam. So I think it's quite hard to talk, but you will use a term that you will buy an insurance, um, and in the situation, for example, because of the storm, so your cargo is broken. So the insurance agency will based on your cargo or your cargo situation to have a compensation for your cargo.
I think that you misunderstood my question. My question is,
Um,
how does insurance company make money?
I make money.
Yep.
Uh,
How do they make profit?
they they have a fee from the customer who want to use insurance
Okay.
because some of the situation uh the cargo or don't have problems, so they will get profit from that situation. And some institution they have to compensate their money, but I think the the good situation is in more than the bad situation, so we can make money from that, make profit from that.
Yeah, you did very well. You explained really well. You can make it better.
I think.
No, you explained it very well. Yeah, on the point. On the point. Yeah, but you could make it better.
Yeah.
No, it's on point. Very good. Yeah. So was about to add something, but when you re-explain it, it's all good. It's clear. So yeah, that how insurance make their money. So they making money is similar by probability. So they're gonna price up the situation. Let's say if I'm buying a car insurance, okay, the price of insurance that I need to pay depend on my age. If less than 20, between 18, because 18 is the legal age to be able to drive a car. If my age is about 18 to 25, my insurance price is fucking expensive. But the moment I go past 25, my insurance price going down Do you know the reason why?
Uh, the car insurance for your car,
Yeah.
and there are your you mean that when you buy the it based on your age or based on your
Well,
so when you are older the insurance price is higher or lower.
lower. Okay, let me explain again. So buying car insurance, okay. So the car
uh,
insurance it actually cover like, let's say if I hit another car, the car insurance gonna pay the money to fix the other car. In my
yeah,
car, depending on what type of insurance that I have. We have two types. Third party is only pay for the other car. Comprehensive insurance is like to pay the money to fix both car.
yeah,
Okay. Right. So if my age is between 18 and 25 years of age, my insurance price is way more expensive. Let's say I pay 2,000 a year. Okay, if I'm between 18 and 25. If my age is older 25, I only need to pay 1,000 a year.
yeah.
Do you know why?
Yeah, because I think at their young age, mm, people don't have more knowledge and more ability to become a good driver, and at that age frame, so many people at that age uh, create more or create more accidents rate. So
Yeah.
they based on they're based on these numbers, so they decide to increase their insurance price to that age.
Very good. Very good. Good job. You done a very good job. I'll just add a few more information in there. So if you between 18 and 25, they done a research. They look at the amount of incident and about the age group. So the age group that have the highest accident rate is between 18 and 25. And the amount of accidents start to drop immediately, like significantly, when people pass 25 years of age. Another reason is that your frontal lobe brain, the frontal lobe brain is the part of the brain that responsible for you to make a uh, correct decision. So it's gonna, let's say you're not gonna make right decision or impulsive decision. Um, they're gonna be fully developed when you reach 25 year of age. So when you're less than 25 year of age, the probability that you can make impulsive decision gonna be significant higher. It's similar when a person like when during normal they behave really normal, but after a couple of beer or alcohol act as an agent that shut down frontal lobe brain. So when you go out and see people like getting drunk and then they do something that they not gonna do when they in a normal state, that mean that their frontal lobe brain already shut down and they can't control or they can't make the right decision. They always make impulsive decision. And another sign that when you know a person have a frontal lobe brain being shut down is they kind of forget their stuff all the time. So when you talk to a drunkie, they kind of repeat what they're already saying like for at least fucking three,
Yeah,
four times
yeah,
because they do not remember what they said to you. So
yeah.
that is that. Okay. Our
Because
lesson turn is a bit weird turn today,
yeah.
eh? So sorry, are you trying to add something?
No, I want to tell you, but I think it. because in my major is related to the cargo or something, international trading.
Yep.
So I maybe when I talk about to my major or about my knowledge, I often talk about something related uh, to my career. Yeah.
No, no, that's fine. I understand it fully. So, similar. So I just want to break down to the thing that kind of close to us. So, like, well, we can easy to understand. I know what you're trying to what you're trying to tell me, but I just want to make it crystal clear. Just let's say in the future, somebody
Yeah.
asks you a similar question, and you want to explain to them, you can actually explain it
Yeah.
using my example. So I
Yeah.
actually saying that you do it pretty good. I understand what you're trying to say. It's pretty good. And because I do not have um, any knowledge about cargo or any status
Yeah.
about cargo, so I can't do it.
Yes.
I can't do it. So, but you did pretty well. So I understand fully though.
Yes.
Hang on, you're saying that your career is about cargo, but I remember you
All
still you still studying in university.
right. My major is international business. It's related to import and export goods and cargo.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, a bit of a side question. So what are you gonna do after you graduate?
I
I don't
after
remember. I don't remember I asked you this question, so that's why I'm asking you again. Let me note it down.
it,
So
I want to become a import export clerk. Is because it's related to my major, but I I don't know that after graduating, because with a competitive job market, so I can have a job that I want to do. Yeah.
come on. So yeah. So what year are you in at the moment? I believe it final year. Are you at your final year yet?
No, third year.
Third year. Okay. So are you planning to go around and hunting for your job yet, or you just focus on your studying and enjoy life at the moment? Curious, no judging here, okay? I'm just poorly curious.
Now I'm trying to improve my knowledge and my English skill, and I think in the in this summer I want to become an intern
Okay.
at a company to have more knowledge and skills at my field. And after graduating, I want to uh, go ahead to other city in Vietnam to have a job pay job rather than living in Da Nang City.
Why is that? Curious. Why is that?
Because
Da Nang is, it
yeah,
doesn't sound so bad. I think Da Nang is kind of in
or
the.
because many people said that Da Nang is a livable city in Vietnam, but many university graduates, they said that after graduating the job is quite they found it hard to have a job related to their major or their field, so they often travel to bigger city in Vietnam,
Okay.
like Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi.
Yeah. Just curious, that's it. Or maybe Haiphong, like you learn
Ah,
about
yeah.
cargo. Come on. I was just thinking
Yeah,
in some
also.
way that some place that more about cargo. Hey, it's like cargo is also about also relate to land transportation. You don't have to like go to sea transportation, is it?
Ship it like I think our goods and our cargo is often transported by ships in
Hmm.
Vietnam because ships is more popular.
Yep. Okay. Hmm. So what company do you intend to apply for intern position in?
I want to, because my major is also I also do for a logistic company. So last week I had a chance to go to a logistic company in Da Nang City, and I also think that if they have it's like a place that they will receive good from a small place, and they will gather the good in a in in a they will gather goods, and after that they will do documents, prepare documents, and after that they will transport their goods into the port for for transporting to another country. Yeah, and yeah.
No, no, all good. Like you really into what you're learning and into what you want to do. All good. Not many people have that. Be good to see. No, you actually enjoying your life and you actually learn what you want to do. Yeah, just wish you the best.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not sure when we're gonna meet next time, but yeah, just wish you the best. You know,
Yeah.
have a good, really good conversation today. Yeah,
Yes.
I have a few more topics to talk with you, but later when we meet again.
Yes, because fortunately I received the scholarship from Abeta Vietnam, so I can continue to study at Abeta Vietnam for 6 months for the previous for the next 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we can have more meetings together.
Yeah, well, I talked to a few of my not system, a few of my students when they actually want to have a conversation. Let's say you have struggled with something with your study, because I've been through university and I have some experience in professional work. Well, just send me an email and I can schedule a time to actually talk to you guys. So if you actually need my help, just reach out,
Yeah.
send an email. I'm gonna book it in. Otherwise, yeah, I'm still here. Even though if you finish from ABBN, I'm still here for help. So
Yes.
yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, see ya. You have a good day.
Yeah. Bye bye, teacher.
Okay,
Bye bye.
bye.